Shalom Aleichem, sweetest friends! This is so exciting. We are continuing our shir that we started about the brachas of Tefillin. In the first year we saw Yesodus Neflaim. And now we're going to continue. Kahena v'chahena, siyata dishmaya, v'perusham yuchas le'arashba. There's a parish, they call it the Rashba Menachas, Daf Lamed Vav. Not that he wrote it, but they say he did. So he learned that the Ikar is Keshitas Rabbeinu Tam, that Tefillin Shel Rosh also requires a bracha. Al Pidivya Gemara Menachas Mem Daled, that there are two mitzvahs. So if there are two mitzvahs, they mandate two brachas. But we have to explain Svarat Rashi ve'Arambam, shebebracha achat poteret shel yad v'shel rosh v'alo shtei mitzvotein. How can you pater two separate mitzvahs with one bracha? And the Rambam himself enumerates it as two brachas, Es and Yud Beis Yud Gimel. And the Smag also in the Chinuch, not like the Bahag. Two mitzvahs, why one bracha? As bedinu shekol tefillah tiyeh tu'una bracha le'atzma. Each of the tefillin should require its own bracha. And the Rambam was already asked about this in his Tshuvas Perador, Siman Ches. And he said, in Yana Nechel li'oz l'zikaron l'man tiyeh tzor meficha. So Mela, there's one bracha l'shteim. That's the Rambam says. We also make a bracha on a fresh Chumas Maisis, one bracha. Same idea. One inyan. Now, we saw that if a person speaks in between the Tefillin Shel Rosh, the Gemara says, Chozer Mevarech, explains the Tshuvas HaRashba in Chelek Hey Siman Yud Gimel, that it's considered speaking in between a bracha and the beginning of the mitzvah. And this is Al Pishitas Harif, So Pesachas Rosh Hashanah, Shekol Hefsek Bein HaBracha L'Tchilas HaMitzvah requires a bracha. V'chol Hefsek Shel Ha'achar Tchilas HaMitzvah doesn't require a bracha. Now, Le'inyin Shchitas Kama Behemos, the Rashba writes that if a person speaks in between one behem and the next, it's mistaber that he doesn't make a new bracha, because you can't compare that to speaking in between Tefillin Shel and Tefillin Shel Rosh, that are two separate mitzvahs. And if somebody speaks in between the two of them, he was mafsik bein habracha l'tchilas asiyas hamitzvah. However, the Tur in Yeredeya argues, Siman Yates, and he holds that even somebody is mafsik b'dibur bein shchita l'shchita, he has to make a new bracha. Just like tefillin, that if you speak in between tefillin and tefillin, you have to make another bracha because they're separate mitzvahs. That's what the Rishonim write to explain this opinion, that you have to make a new bracha if he speaks in between shchita and shchita. And this klal of the Rif that he made, that a hefsek bein bracha l'tchilas hamitzvah requires a bracha, but la'achar tchilas hamitzvah doesn't require a bracha, is muskam al das rov rishonim. Like somebody's mafsik b'dibur b'emtzah sudaso. You don't have to make a new bracha on the food. Once you started eating, you're cool. So how are we going to understand these two shittas regarding shchita? The one opinion compares it to tefillin, the Rashba, and he says that once you already started, that he compares it to, he doesn't compare it to tefillin. It's like a suda, that once you started shechting the animals, you're beseder. Even if you speak in the middle of making a bracha. And the Tur compares it to tefillin, that you do have to make a new bracha. So what's the shorish there, machlokas? The yisod of machlokas is, should you see the shchitos as one mitzvah, mitzvah shchita, and the chelukei gufim are not a chelukah mitzvah, and therefore the bracha relates to klalos mitzvahs hashchita, and therefore even if he's sach bein shchita l'shchita, hareitze kesach la'achar shischil asuda or mitzvah, he already started the mitzvah, he already started the suda. So you don't have to make a new bracha, or no. Maybe since each animal requires shchita la'atzma, they're considered two ma'asim mitzvahs that are mechayiv, two separate brachas be'etzem. And therefore, if somebody's mafsik beineim, it's like he's being mafsik bein ha-bracha, lahascholas ha-mitzvah hashniya. And that's meduyik b'loshen hatur. Tosin Chulin Pei Zayin, I'm stopping in the Shaila. Is somebody who speaks in between shchita, is that like speaking in between the tefillin, or is that like speaking in between the suda? The Torah says that it's like in between the tefillin, because they're two ma'asim mitzvahs that are different. And the Torah is the shitasa, because he brings later on, like those who say that if b'shas ha-bracha he had a few animals in front of him, and later on they brought new animals, he has to make a new bracha on those new animals, because each animal is a mitzvah fnei atzma. Each animal is a chefza that's mechayiv another ma'aseh shchita, and memela another bracha if it was in front of him. B'shas ha-bracha. And with this hezber, we can be miyashiv gdalis gedolei ha-poskim. Bach, Magen Avram, Reish Vav, Shach and Shchita. What's the difference between the case where they brought new animals in front of him, that the Torah says you have to make another bracha, and if they bring new peiros from the same min, the Torah writes, you don't make a new bracha. You're eating bananas, they bring more bananas, you don't make a new bracha. Based on what we said, it's gevaldik. Because Birkas hanenin ein mashmaut l'chol yechida v'yechida מהפירות לעניין הברכה. אלא האכילה בכללותה היא הזוקקת ברכה. There's no meaning to each of the specific fruits. It's the achila that requires a bracha. And therefore, if they brought out new bananas, and he's eating the bananas, he wasn't mesiach das, it's all the hemshech of one achila. And we don't care that the other bananas were in front of him. B'shas ha-bracha. Mashenkein birkas ha-mitzvahs ala shchita. Each shchita nidona ki mitzvah nifredet. Hazokeket bracha b'fnei atzma. Each one requires its own bracha. And therefore, the bracha that you made earlier cannot relate to the mitzvah that was in the front of b'shas ha-bracha. You look in the Chedushim of a Goyin, Reb Aryeh Leib Malin in Chelik Aleph Siman Gimel, you'll see a different mahalach. But our mahalach is that if it's a mitzvah of shchita, each one's a new yichida. Each one's a new unit. If it wasn't in front of b'shas ha-bracha, you have to make a new bracha. Ma'ashekein yachila ein mashmaut l'kol banana b'fnei atzma. And therefore, one bracha, one for all and all for one. Now that we've come to this point, we can ask a stira b'divrei Ramah. Mitzad cheshbon oimek hadvarim b'svar. Let's see. Mitzad echad Ramah paskins in Yeridei Yud Tes like the Torah that if you speak in between shchitas, you have to make another bracha. And the other any paskins in the Darkei Moshe and Erechaim Kuf Samach Zayin like the Rokeach that if a person breaks bread and eats, and somebody heard the bracha he made, and he's mafsik b'dibur l'fnei achilaso, he's yotzei with that bracha. The mevarech made a bracha and he eats. Somebody else speaks before he eats. He's still yotzei with the bracha of the mevarech. Now the Beis Yosef is doicha the rokeach, because everybody is chayiv levarech kedei lechol. And when somebody makes a bracha for everybody, it's like everybody made the bracha on their own. And when the Shomei is mafsik, he's mafsik between his own bracha and the achila. But the Ramah learns like the rokeach that since me'achar shetoam echad min prusas habitzia yatzu kulam, one guy eating is enough for everybody. And the Achronim already explained. Look in Reb Aryeh Leib Reb Aryeh Tzvi Frumer in the Kojik Lover in the Siach HaSodeh. Siman Hey, Chela Gimel, printed the new Eretz Tzvi with the Siach HaSod. It's mamish shmak. So he explained that they're arguing together Shemei Koine. Is the Shmira Amira Atzmis? Umemela, he's like mafsik bein bracha birchas atzmo lachilasu. He should make a new bracha. If the shmi is like he's saying it, then he said it, now he has to eat. If he speaks, he's a hefsek. Or no. Is the shemea yoytze ba'amiras chaver? It's not my own amir, it's his. So I'm on his coattails. And he ate, so I'm beseder. That's very nice. That might explain the svara of why everybody's yotze. But it's not enough to explain divrei Ramah. Because, yes, you're yotze ba'amiras habotzeya, and the botzeya wasn't mafsik, but your achila is detached from the bracha. It's a good svara. Then I'm on his coattails. But sof kol sof, my bracha is detached from my eating. I'm also eating. You're right, I'm yotze with his bracha. But I also have to eat. I didn't eat. So why isn't my dibur a hefsek? The explanation is, based on the Chakira, is a hefsek bein bracha la'asiyas hadavar, like bein bracha la'achila, is that a chisaron bebracha, that the bracha is larik, it was for nothing, for naught, and therefore you have to make a new bracha? Or it's the achila that's lacking a bracha, because it was detached from the bracha. Is it a chisaron in the bracha, or is it a chisaron in the achila? And it would appear that the Ramah learned that it's a chisaron in the bracha, that the hefsek makes a bracha like a bracha that was said not on a maisa. But mitzad the achila, it doesn't have to be smuch al bracha. But mitzad the bracha, it has to be smuch al achila. Otherwise, you stare at the bracha. And therefore, here, where the Mevarich himself ate, harei lo yatsa birchaso yirekam. The bracha is a beseder bracha. And since that's the case, it's a good bracha, and the shemea can be yotze with this bracha, even though he was mafsik. Because the problem is not in the achil, the problem is the bracha. And the bracha was a good bracha, because he made the bracha and he ate. So the bracha wasn't larik. What about the achila of the shemea? But it's not a problem mitzad the achila, it's a problem mitzad the bracha. So therefore, a hefsek doesn't bother us. That's why the Ramah paskin that way. That hefsek b'achila, he's allowed to continue eating. He doesn't have to make a new bracha. The chala was already chal. The bracha was already chal. Chala al yidei achilas habotzeya. So the shemeh is yotzei. Oh, so now after this tifkite, it's shver. How does the Ramah paskin like the Tur? That if he speaks in between animal and animal, he makes a new bracha. The bracha was a beseder gamur bracha. The bracha wasn't yotzei larik. The bracha was chal on the shchita. So why should the hefsek bother us? So you're right, we consider them mitzvahs nefrados. You're right, they're considered distinct mitzvahs, like we said. But sof, ha-hefsek, u'babracha. And the bracha isn't lacking. The only time you have to make a new bracha is where the chisaron in the bracha. But here the bracha wasn't lacking. As long as the bracha is not lacking, you're beseder. The bracha is already chal. Why can't it continue to be chal? It should be all the mitzvahs acheros. Just like we say gabi shomei akaoine. That since the botzea wasn't mafsik, the bracha is chal. So we should say here also, since once the bracha was chal, so let it be chal on the other animals as well. It's like by the achila, now it's chol weiter on other achilas, even though there was a hefsek b'dibur of the shomea. Start kasha. We have to be miyashev by being mechalik between birchas hanenin and birchas hamitzvus. And the reason for this chiluk is al pi hayisod hayadua shekatvu achronim, that birchas hamitzvus is not stam a chova levarich b'shas kiyum hamitzvah, but the mitzvah requires midrabanan a bracha. Shekach tiknu chachamim b'tzuras asiyas hamitzvah shetayase im bracha. And there are a number of rayas for this yisod. Number one, they darshan on the pasuk of Vidin Maiso, avartim mitzasecha lo shachachti lo shachtim levarechacha. I the birchas mitzvah nafrasha. Is this drush on a smacht or not on a smacht? Discussion. Now vidui is said only on averis that were done by maestros, and not other averis. So it's muchach that the afrashas meiser without a bracha, it's a pagam in the afrasha. And therefore you're saying vidui on it. Lo shachachti milavarechacha. Otherwise there'd be a pagam in the etzem afrasha. And we also see this from the Mishnah in Trumas for its parak, that an arum and an elaim, a naked person and a mute person, lo yitramu because they can't make the bracha. And even if his friend is toireim for him, he's not going to make a bracha. So what is he losing when he's toireim himself? What do you mean don't take truma? Because you can't make the bracha, so your friend's going to do it. The Seder, your friend's going to do it, and anyway you're not going to make a bracha. So what are you gaining? You're not gaining a bracha, anyway you're not going to make the bracha. The answer is that the mitzvah is that it has to go along with the bracha. And when the naked person or the mute person is mafresh the truma without a bracha, it's going to be chisaron in the truma. Because it was nitkam with a bracha. And we also see this from Taisis and Baba Kama, Tzadi Aleph Amid Beis, that if a person snatches a mitzvah from his friend that has a bracha, he has to pay once, 10 zuvim and not 20. Because the mitzvah and the bracha are one. So if he snatches a mitzvah with a bracha, he only has to pay 10 and not 20, because the mitzvah and the bracha are one. So you see that the birchas ha-mitzvah is kechelik mitzura es kiyum ha-mitzvah. The Gedola Mikulan, the raya from the Tosar Rosh in bracha is famous. But he says that if birchas ha-mitzvah was midoiraisa, it would be ma'akev b'kiyum ha-mitzvah, mechi teisi. L'chora, it's a separate mitzvah to make a bracha b'shas asiyas ha-mitzvah. But you see, no, it's not so. It's part and parcel of the mitzvah. And memela, if birchas ha-mitzvah would be midoraisa, would be ma'akev. Because the mitzvah is part and parcel of the bracha, is part and parcel of the mitzvah. And now, midrabanan, that's the tzuras kiyum ha-mitzvah. That it goes together with not ma'akev. We don't pass it that way, but it goes together with the mitzvah, and therefore, you better make sure that you do the mitzvah with the bracha, otherwise it's a chisaron in the mitzvah. The bracha and the mitzvah have to go together. We don't want the mitzvah to lack a bracha. As we illustrated, a number of places. And since that's the case, we could say as follows: that in birchas ha-mitzvahs, the Ramah learned that the hefsek bein bracha and mitzvah shniya requires a new bracha. You're right; the first bracha was gevaldik. But what about the mitzvah? What about the mitzvah? The bracha is b'seder. The bracha was chal. But by making this hefsek, you're being mafsik between the bracha and the mitzvah. And now the mitzvah doesn't have a bracha anymore. You're right, the bracha was chal, the bracha wasn't larik. But what about the mitzvah? The mitzvah is larik. Because the mitzvah, kiviyachol, doesn't have the bracha. To make a new bracha. Mashenken Birkas hanenin, the machal doesn't require bracha mitzad atzma. Not that the machal requires a bracha. It's that there's a chiyuv bracha on a person who wants to eat. And since in the bracha there was no chisaron, because it was chal, when the person who made the bracha ate something, so it doesn't bother us now that the shomea spoke. We're not worried about hefsek. If it was in the achila, the achila required a bracha, like you would think in Pashtus, we'd be in trouble. But it's not. It's a din that somebody eating requires a bracha. And the shomea got this bracha. Because it was chal when the mevarich made the bracha, and he's nigra achara mevarich, and the bracha was chal, so now we can continue eating. Because somebody who wants to eat requires a bracha, he has his bracha. But it's not that the food itself requires a bracha. And we would say that it's a hefsek. Because the food didn't get the bracha. But it's the opposite, the bracha has to get the food. As long as the bracha got the food, the bracha was chal on food, he's yotzei. Mashenke, when it comes to Birkas HaMitzvahs, the mitzvah requires a bracha. If he's mafsik b'emsa, the mitzvah lost its bracha. The bracha didn't lose its mitzvah, but the mitzvah lost the bracha. And therefore you have to make a bracha. He spoke ben shchita l'shchita. So miyushavim divrei harama. Why by imsach ben shchita l'shchita you have to make a new bracha? Because the mitzvah requires a bracha. On the other hand, if you hear somebody make a bracha on food, and he ate, and then you speak before you ate, you're yotzei. Because the bracha was already chal. And that's the Rama learned. Once the bracha is chal, then you're yotzei. Advarim hayu amukim v'neflaim. You're yotzei even if he spoke. And b'siyata d'shmaya, we have a little ways to go, not too much, in this particular series. Hopefully one more shir. And we're going to give ourselves a bracha that we should give that shir, and we should be zoche lilmod l'lamed, lishmor v'lasos, u'lekayim is called divrei salmo tarasa b'yahava. Amen v'amen. Shalom, shalom, sweetest and most beloved friend.